Welcome back, everybody, to the NHL show here on The Parlay. I'm your host, Luca Rosano, alongside my co-host, Jelaini, Reid. And we got a little Spreadsies reunion for this one, but we're not talking
Yes, sir.
football. We're talking hockey, and we're going to be making our plays against the spread. Now, typically in hockey, it's that one sport that a lot of people don't really talk about the puck line. A lot of people talk about the money line, but we're going to do something that I don't think's ever been done, and that is run down through every single NHL game for this Friday, and we are going to be making our pick on the puck line. Are we going to go -1.5, +1.5? We got 7 games to get to. Let's dive right into it. We're going to start
Do
with the
it.
first game. We got Detroit and Tampa. This is going to be an interesting one. And clearly, Tampa Bay are the favorites here, -1.5. So are you going with them, or are you going to go with the underdog in this spot?
Well, this game is pretty interesting for me. I'm gonna go with Tampa though. I just think that Detroit, being 500 in their last 10 games, they haven't been playing that great on the year, and we get it. They are a younger side than Tampa Bay is. So when you're looking at this matchup, though, if you're going to go with Tampa Bay, you're going to look at somebody to be an X factor. I'm looking at Braden Point tonight. Let's see if he could provide some nice minutes for them out there on the ice. But yeah, Tampa Bay, they're one of the better teams in terms of the penalty, the power play, excuse me. And when you're looking at Detroit on the other side, they struggle with the penalty kills. So in this matchup, I'm going to go Tampa by a few goals. I think they could win this game by 2 or 3 goals tonight. But yeah, when you're watching Detroit, if you're going to go with Detroit tonight, I think if an X factor, if you're looking at that side of things, I'm looking at Cider. Right, he's one of the best rookies in the league right now at the defensive spot. He leads rookies, well, in terms of rookie defensemen in assists and goals. And points, excuse me. So he's been playing really well. When you're looking at the assists, when you're looking at the points he's had, he has a case for a Calder, right, for the Rookie of the Year award. So you're going to look at Cider, of course, for the X Factor tonight. But overall, I think Tampa Bay just has too much for Detroit to deal with, and they can score goals at will. They're coming off, though. They're coming off of a loss last night to Pittsburgh. So being, on the second night of a back-to-back is going to be tough. But overall, I just think Detroit doesn't have enough in this matchup.
Yeah, that's a big thing for me going into this one. The second night of a back to back. How are they going to look after getting beaten by the Penguins, right? Like
Right.
that was a bad loss. And, you look at this matchup right here. Tampa Bay, they strike me as a team that they turn it up later on, when it means something. We can see them take their foot off the gas pedal, and they're going up against a Detroit team that they haven't been tremendous by any means, but they've been a respectable 5-5-0 over their last 10. And they might actually catch a break here if they don't have to go up against Vasilevsky on the second leg of that back
Right.
to back. So if that is the case, then I can look at Detroit making this one interesting. I know Tampa Bay is going to want to get back on track here, but again, I think they take these games seriously as we approach the spring. This is an opportunity where Detroit could possibly go into Tampa and make this an interesting game. So I like Detroit +1.5. I like that I'm getting that goal. So yeah, I'm going to go with the Red Wings to make this very interesting against a very dominant Tampa Bay team. So going with a bit of an upset to start the show.
Okay, so first upset of the night for Luca. Now let's move to the LA Kings, and we have them going to Columbus to play the Blue Jackets tonight. Obviously, as you can see on the screen, if you're watching, LA is favored 1.5. So do you take LA here, or are you going with another underdog in the Blue Jackets?
Yeah, the Blue Jackets are generous with their scoring opportunities, and that actually allows them to have the second most goals in the league. But they're also top 10 in NHL scoring. So this is a team that could put the puck in the net. The Kings are not as tight defensively as they were a season ago. And both these teams, though, have been inconsistent lately. I think there's going to be some explosiveness in this matchup. But yeah, I'm actually going to go with Columbus in this spot. I think they could have a nice game. And I do look for them to score a lot of goals, keep up with this LA team. So I'm actually going to go with another underdog pick here. I'm going to go with
Okay.
Columbus +1.5. I think this could be a good game where the goalies are ultimately the difference maker in terms of who wins this one and who doesn't.
Yeah, so you're going with Columbus. Look, they're 7-3 in their last 10 games. They have been playing some good hockey. Obviously, when you're looking at someone specific, Patrick Laine, right? He's on a hot streak right now. He's had 5 multiple point performances last month. He was named the third star in the NHL for February. So he's been playing some great hockey. Obviously, you're looking at his stats. Let me give it to you. He has 23 points, 14 goals, 9 assists in his last 14 games. So you're going to look for him to have a good night if you're going with Columbus. I'm going to go the other side, though. I'm going with LA, despite the fact that the Blue Jackets have actually beat LA 3 times in a row. So they have been having recent success against them. But I think LA is a good mix of veterans and young pieces. We've seen that they're making a playoff push right now, second in the Pacific. They're trying to make that push, right? So they have to get these wins against certain teams like these, right? Where you think, you know what, they have a chance. So when you're watching Kopitar, Anze Kopitar, to me, I said this on Monday's show. To me, he's one of the most underrated superstars in the sport over this past generation. He's been balling. Look, when you're looking at the fact that he's a team high 50 points, okay, 15 goals this year on 35 assists, he's obviously going to have an impact in this one. But if I'm going with LA, which I am, I'm hoping that their power play shows up because they are in the basement in terms of power plays. They only convert 16.8%. That's 27th in the league. So they're going to have to show up in that area, and also in the penalty kill, they're 29th. So that's not good for me in that area, but they have been playing good hockey, 7-3 as well in their last 10 games. And they're actually a good team on the road, right? They have a good record on the road, excuse me, in their last 11 games, 8-1-2. So for me as a better, I'm going to go with LA, a team making a push towards the playoffs, a team that needs these wins as teams are looming behind them, like the Oilers and the Golden Knights in the standings, and they're obviously trying to catch up 5 games back of Calgary. So they're going to need this one tonight.
All right. So we are different with our first two games here,
Yep.
first two picks out of the gate. Next game, we got Minnesota taking on Buffalo. Are the Sabres going to come out with the inspired effort again, just like they did against the Maple Leafs a few nights ago?
I don't think they are. I think that this is a game where you got to go Minnesota. I think this is probably the most comfortable I am with all these picks tonight. I would actually, in terms of the over under for 6.5 goals, I would go over in this
Yeah.
one. Why? Because I'm looking at Minnesota. I think they're going to convert on a lot of chances. They're actually second in the league when you're looking at 5-on-5 goals. These guys know how to score goals. They know how to create opportunities and create chances. Buffalo, on the other hand, their defense, we cannot mistake them for being a great defense. Okay. That's no disrespect. Also, the goaltending has been all over the place this year. So when I'm looking at that, when I'm looking at the fact that Buffalo, 3-6-1 in their last 10 games, haven't been a reliable bet, I'm going with Minnesota, one of the better teams in the league, right? They're a team that is probably a contender for the cup right now. And they should be able to score points tonight. I just think that being one of the higher scoring offenses gives you a lot more opportunities, a lot more chances to beat a lesser team like this. I think they're going to expose Buffalo defensively tonight. So yeah, give me Minnesota.
Yeah, I agree with you. This is one of the few favorites I'm taking tonight. I think they're going to overwhelm them on both sides of the ice. The Wild, I think they're also going to limit the Sabres' offensive attack with their defensive unit stepping up of late, forcing turnovers in the neutral zone, defensive zone. I think this is going to be a very good showcase by a really solid Minnesota team. Like you said, that does have cup aspirations, whereas the Sabres, they just had a great night against the Maple Leafs, and
Yeah.
I just don't see them doing it again. I know they're at home, which is a nice home spot if you do like taking underdogs, but I just don't see them keeping this one close. I think this is going to be a very sound Minnesota win. So I will lay the -1.5. I think they do get it done against the Sabres.
All right. And now let's move to the Devils. The Devils going to play the Rangers tonight. The Rangers are favored 1.5. So, Luca, are you going Rangers or Devils tonight?
It's always an electric feeling in the air when these two teams meet, and the Devils' offense, they are firing on all cylinders. But you look at the Rangers; they're finding some five-on-five scoring success as well, and all eyes are going to be on the former number one overall draft picks going head-to-head, and Hughes and Lafreniere, as both these teams are going to be looking to win tonight's game. And You look at Hughes, he has 9 points in his last 4 games, and Lafreniere has 4 points in his last 4 games. So the Devils' goaltending has been very inconsistent and reliable, and
Yeah.
so the Rangers should be able to put a bunch of uh, pucks at the back of the net. But I do like that the Devils have been scoring a ton, and they do have some momentum with their offense going into this one. So I can see this being a high scoring game with a ton of goals. Definitely take the over. But in terms of the spread here, I think it's going to be a fun matchup, Jelani. I'm going to go with a Jersey plus 1.5. I think this is going to make for an exciting game and finish. So I will take the 1.5 here.
All right. Well, I'm going with the Rangers tonight. I have more confidence in them. If there are going to be any power plays tonight, I'm looking at the fact they're fourth in the league in that area. Key importance, in any game, obviously. But yeah, Chris Kreider, look, this guy, he's been playing really well. One of the best scorers on the year. 35 goals he's at right now. So he's probably going to have an impact. But yeah, you mentioned it. You touched on it a bit. It's just the goaltending for New Jersey. I don't know if I could trust them tonight against a team that knows how to put the puck in the net. And when you're looking at the goaltenders, I'm putting more stock into Igor Shesterkin tonight. I just have more confidence in him. And yeah, so I'm going to go with the Rangers. And also the Devils, I mean, they haven't been playing poor. Like they haven't been bad, but they in terms of betting, they haven't been as reliable in their last 10 games. Outright, they're 4-6. They haven't been a team that you can really trust in terms of the spread or the money line, if you will. So yeah, I'm going to go with Rangers tonight. They are the better team, right? This could be, like you mentioned, this could be a spot where the underdog does pull through, but I'm going to go with the home side tonight.
All right. And now we're going to get into the final 3 games of the night. We got a good one here. Pittsburgh coming off of a nice win. Can they keep it going as they take on Carolina?
Yes, they can. Look, I'm a huge Penguins fan. I'm not being a homer, but it was a good win against a good Tampa Bay team last night. And yes, they are coming off of a back to back. This is the second night of a back to back. So you're going to say, well, you're traveling to Carolina, a tough team on the road. How are you going to take them? But I am going to take them. I think when you're looking at the recent success that the Penguins have actually had against Carolina, you would probably lean that way. They're 5-2 in their last 7 meetings in Carolina at PNC Arena. So I'm going to go there. I'm going to say this is a big game, though, for the Metropolitan Division, obviously, because these two teams vying for, some spots in the playoffs. They're battling each other. The last meeting, Carolina did win. I do think that the Penguins, excuse me, will come up big in this spot. 3 straight W's. They're on a good streak right now. They're playing good hockey. They have a strong attack as of late. So you know what? When I'm watching what I saw last night, Tampa Bay was outshot by Pittsburgh 40-21. If we see something similar to that tonight, Pittsburgh is going to win this game. They're going to have to create opportunities against a Carolina group that knows how to score points, that knows how to create opportunities. So if Pittsburgh could find a way to just play similarly to how they've been playing as of late, which is always getting to the net, creating good looks for everybody out there on the ice, and having valuable minutes in terms of the power play. I think that this could be a spot where Pittsburgh does come through. And also the penalty kill. I think that's going to be big for Pittsburgh. Carolina last night, 0 for 3 on the power play against Washington, and they got shut out against Washington. If you are going to go Carolina, though, I think Sebastian Aho, Teravainen, those two guys could do some damage tonight. Their point streaks did end yesterday against Washington. They're due for something tonight. But you know what? Also, they're coming off of a back to back. I'm going to put more
Yeah.
faith in the Penguins tonight to create opportunities, get the puck in the net.
Yeah, I love the Penguins tonight. This is my favorite good value pick of the evening. They are coming in on the second night of a back to back, like you mentioned, but so is Carolina. And this is a Penguins team. They've had success lately playing on the second night of a back to back. They're actually 4-1 in their last 5 games on the second night. So this is a team that they've been playing great lately. They look as dominant as they have, this past decade. And this is a team that they are, looking at that metropolitan division with a chance to win it. And this is a team that's got momentum in their corner. And you look at Carolina, this is a team that I think is going to have a bit of fatigue coming into this one. They're playing their third game in 4 nights. So I think that's going to be a major
Mhm.
factor here. I love Pittsburgh. I love that I'm getting a goal and a half. My favorite value pick here on the road. So give me the Pens to cover, and I would not be surprised if they win this game. I mean, you talk about the money line. I know we're talking about the spreads, but money line pick, this would
Yeah.
be my favorite underdog money line pick of the night.
Same here. I'm going money line on this one as well. Now let's move to Winnipeg. They are hosting the Dallas Stars. Dallas is favored here. So are you going with Winnipeg at home?
I am. I am. The Stars, they've had 4 goals in each of their past 2 contests, but they have struggled to generate that same offense on the road. And I think they're going to have a little bit of a tough time out of the gate here in Winnipeg. And you look at the club, they've just scored 3 total goals over their past 3 road games after averaging 4.40 goals over their previous 5. And the Jets' recent offensive outbursts, there's a lot to like. And I think this is an offense that can muster up a ton of good things in this game. And they have been able to muster up, 8 goals of late. And I think this is a team that can take it to Dallas. I know Dallas is the overwhelming favorites here, but I just don't like how they've looked on the road compared to at home. So I think this is a spot where Winnipeg can potentially play spoiler here and make this game close. So I will take Winnipeg plus 1.5, and hopefully is an exciting game.
Yeah, I agree with you actually. I'm going with Winnipeg tonight as well. And for the reasons you pointed out, Dallas not that great on the road. And especially specifically against Winnipeg. They're 1-9 in their last 10 in Winnipeg. They haven't been that good against the Jets as of late with that losing record. Um, Look, the Jets, they aren't as good as Dallas is. I think Dallas is the better team. I think we know that. But Dallas, they have been, there's certain spots where you'd expect them to pull through for you, and they haven't. So they haven't been the best team in terms of, betting. So I'm going to go with Winnipeg, and also because Dallas, look, they are a good team, right? Like I said, but they're in a busy Central Division right now. Colorado, St. Louis, Minnesota, Nashville, those teams are above them in the standings. They're going to need a win, obviously, right? But there are certain spots where the dogs, they just pull through against Dallas. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
go at home here with the Jets, who are actually better at home than they are on the road. 2 straight victories. They could probably make it 3 here. They're 30-24 against the spread. Just a little note for Jets betters today. But yeah, my X factor, Pierre Luc Dubois. I think that he's gonna have some nice minutes tonight. He does lead the Jets in total shots on the year, so he's obviously creating opportunities for himself. But yeah, that's what he has to do. He just has to play hard, give us good minutes, and probably, you know what, the Jets might win this game tonight. So yeah, give me the Jets at home, plus 1.5.
Yeah, just another stat here. They have produced consistently when playing against Central Division rivals on home ice. That is the Jets, winning 8 of 11 while averaging
Hmm.
3.45 goals per game. So that's just another stat if you are going to agree with me and Jelani and bet on the Jets tonight. Okay, the final game of the evening, we have the Vegas Golden Knights taking on Anaheim. So this is going to be another one of those games where bettors could be taking that minus 1.5. Are you going to go with Vegas, or do you feel the bit of an upset with Anaheim brewing?
I'm going with Anaheim tonight. I do think a lot of people are leaning with Vegas. Look, they have lost recent games to playoff contenders. When you're looking at their schedule, they've lost games to Calgary, to LA, to Colorado twice over, and Boston. This is another team. Anaheim's trying to get in that playoff mix, and
Yeah.
they aren't too far out. So I think that Vegas, people are kind of blinded by what they have in terms of their firepower, but they haven't been that good against playoff contenders as of late. They have, won their last game. They did win their last game against Anaheim 3-1, but I think this is going to be a different result. I think that Anaheim's going to put the puck in the net tonight. I'm looking at north of 3 goals tonight. So if you're going over for over under for the goals, I'm going over on that one. But yeah, Trevor Zegras, like, what else can we say about this guy? He's been fantastic. 2 goals, 7 assists lately. So that's 9 points in their last 10. So I'm going to go with Anaheim. I think their X factor is going to come up big tonight. Goaltending will be major tonight, though. I think
Yeah.
the goaltending has to show up in order for the Ducks to pull out a victory. But they're due. They're due for a victory against a solid team in the Western Conference. They have struggled. Yes, in terms of your bets, guys, the Ducks, they haven't been always that good in terms of money line or spread against these solid teams in the Western Conference, similarly to what I spoke about Vegas. But Vegas on the end of a back-to-back, we could see Anaheim play up to Vegas's level tonight, play spoiler possibly, and creep up on them in the Pacific Division towards a playoff push. So yeah, give me the Ducks tonight as an underdog.
Yeah, Vegas coming in hobbled, second out of a back to back. We could see their backup goalie. And Anaheim, you mentioned it, they still have a chance for the playoffs. They're going to be playing with that motivation. They're going to be playing like a desperate bunch. And I really think that's going to be the X factor of tonight's game. So I agree with you, Jelani. I think Anaheim shows up in this spot. I think they do cover the spread. I wouldn't be surprised if they squeak out a win. And I think this will be a game that Anaheim shows us that they're not dead just yet. This is a team that can make a push, and this is a team that can hang with the best of them. I know they haven't been necessarily the safest bet, like you alluded to, but I think tonight will be different, and they will catch Vegas at the perfect time, and it will go well for their playoff hopes. So, yeah, give me Anaheim as well. I agree with you, plus 1.5.
All right, so we went through all the games tonight. We have a long slate of games, so stay tuned. You got Sportsnet, you got TSN, you got all of them. All right, so we got good matchups like we spoke about. Pittsburgh, Carolina, that might be the marquee matchup of the night. Two playoff contenders for sure battling it out. And like we just spoke about, Vegas and Anaheim, that's a very intriguing one out west. But for myself, Jelani Goodridge and Luca Rosana, this was the NHL show. Stay tuned next week for more episodes. Celine will be back obviously on Monday, and Luca, he's doing everything for the parlay, so he'll be back on the show next week. We'll see you next time.